Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Venkata Hemant, your host for today. Welcome you all for the international webinar on mastering self-confidence, overcoming insecurities and fears. We are all privileged to have Nishita Sharma for today. This webinar is brought to you by SEMS Welfare Foundation. SEMS Welfare Foundation is a non-profit entity established to work in areas of education, social welfare, women empowerment, skill development, and entrepreneurship, livelihood generation and employability, health, research, culture, international cooperation, sports, environment protection, and similar sectors. We promote healthy lives, a balanced and active community, and strong businesses together. Let's explore how can we master self-confidence and overcome insecurities and fears. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our distinguished speaker for today's international webinar, Ms. Nishita Sharma. Nishita is an accomplished HR professional and life coach, passionate about personal growth, development, and emotional intelligence. With extensive experience in HR and coaching, she has guided numerous individuals from diverse backgrounds, empowering them to master self confidence and resilience. Currently, as an assistant HR manager, she is dedicated to fostering a culture of confidence building, emotional intelligence, and personal growth. Through her insightful LinkedIn content and speaking engagements, Nishita consistently inspires personal and professional transformation. We are privileged to have Nishita Sharma as our speaker for the webinar, where she will share her expertise on personal growth, confidence, and development. Let's warmly welcome Nishita Sharma to the international webinar today.
So, firstly, thank you so much, Venkatak, for such a honor and very beautiful introduction about me. And yes, today it would be great to meet you all. I'm really enjoying and I'm really excited at the same time to discuss and deep dive digger, you can say, on what is actually confidence and how you can overcome your insecurities and your fears, which affects directly to your confidence, which plays a major role in your confidence. So let's start. Let me share my screen. So, yes, we are in the session, and the topic for today, I think it has been repeated so many times, but just last time, I'm really sorry to bother you guys. Mastering self confidence and overcoming insecurities and fear. So, let's start. So, this is a get to know me, about me session. About me, just a page, you can say. I really want to tell you all that I am someone who has actually worked on my self confidence consciously. Today I'm sitting here, but this was not me, if you say a year back. I remember being lost, not knowing what I want to do. I was a graduate, lost in the uncertainties of future, was constantly thinking that, okay, what if I do this? What if this fails? What if doesn't work? What will happen next? So all these questions were always on top of my mind. And one more thing I really want to say to you is I am someone who overthinks a lot. If there was a degree for overthinking, I have done that degree. So yes, so I'm an overthinker actually. So yeah, I worked on myself and that is how I became passionate about the topic about personal development, personal growth, confidence, what affects confidence, what are the key aspects in our life which actually influence our confidence level. So yeah, this is me, Nishita. Let's dig into the session. So before starting, I want to I want all of you and welcome you to actually set a intention today before starting the session, which is what do you want to create today? So this is what I do with my clients as well whenever I start a session. So what do you want to create today means intention. So this is also a part of activity called intention setting. That whenever we start something, it is very important to have an intention towards it. Because the moment you put an intention to it, there is a higher chance you focus on that intention since it's coming from inside and not affected by the outer noises. So yeah, I would really love if you can type your intention today in the chat box. Yeah. Okay, improving self-confidence. Okay, done. So now next start now. So before starting, let's understand what is self-confidence. So it's very simple to understand. Is self-confidence is the art of self-love and the trust in one's abilities. So let me tell you what is self-love. The self-love which has been taught by the society is, okay, you can pamper yourself, you can go, okay, today I will take this, I will do this. That is again a form of self-love, but again, they are also doing it to sell you certain things, an idea of self-love. But truly, what self love is being honest to yourself and addressing and fulfilling the needs of your body and your mind. So, that is what is self love. So, let's suppose I am not feeling well today. Let's just take an example. And if I really want to feel well for that, so I need to understand that why I'm not feeling well, what is right now, what my body requires to feel well, and then give it to it. So then I ask my body a lot of times, what do you need? And it always answer. You have to listen and trust in one's abilities, which is not directly related to the success, the proportion of whether you did it right or not. It is a belief in yourself that whatever you are doing, or maybe if not, you still trust yourself. It's like a parents who cheer us, or maybe our partners who cheer us. Whatever we do, they always are there because they believe in us without any expectations. In relationships, in families, it is very easy a lot of times that, okay, yes, I believe in you. The same thing which we do with some of our friends. That, okay, yes, you can do it. You go on stage, kill it, and everything. So it is very easy for us to do for others, but it becomes very difficult when it comes to ourselves. That understanding that, okay, can I actually believe in myself when nothing is going right and I can do it? So that is what self confidence is. Now, today, I really want you to ask yourself right now, how much do I trust myself? And if you do have your notebooks right now, pen, just write in your notebook a number out of 10. Let's say I trust myself 5, 7, 6, whatever. And then next question is, how much do I want to trust myself? So then you will see a gap number which is there present. And then you can work on that gap number. It helps you to understand, okay, this is why I am here and this is where I want to go. So it creates a clarity of thought in your mind. And then you ask yourself, why don't I trust myself? What will happen if I trust myself today? So this is an important reminder uh, while we go ahead is you honestly actually have no clue what you're capable of or your potential far beyond. So don't limit yourself. And the reason why I say it is because I have created and I've done it for myself. I'm not someone who is saying it by reading in the books or just saying it for the sake of it. I'm saying it because I believe in it and I have done it and created a life around it, created a business around it, doing a full-time job at the same time, conducting sessions, webinars like these. So yes, I know how much it takes and what do you need. At the same time, it's important to understand confidence doesn't always mean that you will always feel confident. So let's say right now, when I was about to start the session, I was actually nervous because I was like, okay, what if it goes wrong? What if this slide is not right? Or what if I've not created all the graphics which are all around? And I was like, okay, fine. Let me not focus on the graphics, which I didn't do it over here, but instead let me focus on what I did and what kind of quality I want to serve to each one of you today. So that was my intention of creating a service, of creating power for each one of you, and energy where where each one of you feel uplifted and feel like, yes, maybe today I can do it. So let's understand what affects our self-confidence. Understanding what affects your self-confidence help you to understand what are the areas you wanted to work in. So the first comes from traumatic experiences, which means it can be bullying. A lot of people, a lot of us, even I was one of them who was not, I would not say I was bullied, but yes, I was always told to look certain way. I was always told because I am a thin girl, you can say. So I'm a thin person. I don't have a, what we say, body structure of a woman supposed to have. So I was someone who constantly hear or constantly how to say it, constantly heard about that, okay, this is this, you are very thin, you are skeleton, you are a stick, you are a lady finger. So these were the words. They impacted me deeply, because it impacted me so deeply that there was a time I stopped going out, because I was like, what if they again see me? They started saying that nothing looks good on you. You have to wear this, you have to gain weight, do this, do that. But the thing was, I was healthy. It's not that I am thin, so I'm weak or I have some problem. It was I am the way it is. I am like this since I was born. So this created a traumatic experience in my past. And I worked on it, and that's this is how I've overcome on it. Now I don't feel nervous. I don't have anxiety while I go out. So yes, there can be many sort of traumatic experiences in our past life. Now let's jump to unstable childhood. So let's suppose if you are brought up by critical parents who were constantly judging you, who were always there to criticize you. A lot of my clients actually say that their parents were always used to say, no, you are wrong, no, you are this, you have to do this certain way, you have to go, and this is the limit. This is what society has said. This person, this cousin of yours is doing this, so you have to do this. So instead of parents cheering up, they end up criticizing us. I'm not saying it's not bad or it's right, but at times it can hamper a lot. And I believe that sets a unsafe environment in our home itself, where we are supposed to feel safe. If you, either of you, if you ever felt it, please feel free to comment below. I believe a lot of times parents give us a lot of expectations, right? And then we run in a race of fulfilling them without understanding whether at the first place we really want to do it or not. Or maybe we were born and brought up in conflicted houses where parents were fighting, or where parents were not respectful towards each other, or they were constantly blaming each other, or family was going through certain kind of divorce. So these are the things which actually impacts your self-confidence, that you forget the sense of safety. Because if you don't feel safe in an environment, there is a higher chance it will create fear in you, and it will act as a threat. So when something acts as a threat, how our body responds, we all know, we all have, let's say, white body cells. It is actually made so that we can fight something. So our body is actually manufactured in a way that it enables us to fight towards threats. And these triggers, which were happened in our past, if happens something relatable in our present moment, that impacts our confidence deeply. So it's more important to dig deeper, understanding the roots of why you don't feel confident. Now, third thing, which is social comparison. In a digital, this is a digital world right now, right? Right now, I am also communicating with you. I actually got an opportunity to meet each one of you through Zoom, which is again a digital platform. Right. So when we talk about digital social media, they have created a sense of social comparison, that, okay, this person is doing that, why I am not able to do it? This person is looking the certain way, why I am not able to look it? And this is how the entire social media feeds on our insecurities, because that is how they sell their services, that is how they sell their products. That, okay, from this to this you have to buy this. I'm not saying that you don't, if let's say you are fat or you are having some issues, you don't want to get thin or something, but it's more important to get healthy and understanding your body, rather than falling in a trap of a proper figure size, which can be either for a man or a woman. So it's very much important that how we are compared. Okay, this person has done this. The idea of success, which is sold to us, that if you do tick, 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 four things, let's say if you have a degree from a very reputed university, you get into the best top company, you have your life sorted, so everything is okay. No, this person is buying a car, so you should also. If you remember, just let's rewind back a little, a few years back when we were little ones. Let's say if we bought a cycle, we were so excited about it, right? That, okay, finally I got a cycle. This is so amazing. I will drive and all. But the moment we saw a friend who bought it, and it is much more expensive or much more lavish or luxurious, then we started actually questioning our own happiness. And this is what happens at this level as well, that we are actually happy, but it's just that the moment we see someone else getting more happy, than us, or having something more, then they try to achieve it, and that creates unhappiness. So at the first place, you were actually happy. But since you started comparing yourself, okay, I don't look this way. I want to be tall. I want to be certain color, let's say fair skin, or maybe I want to buy a car because they want it. So maybe ask yourself right now, whatever today I have, am I actually happy, or I'm unhappy because the other person has more than me? So that should be a bigger question. And then you will understand, okay, I think actually at the first place I was happy. And then so low self-esteem. Low self-esteem comes from a place where we are constantly becoming our own critique, where we constantly critique ourselves about everything, where we feel that we have some sort of lack, we are not enough, and we need to constantly prove someone, or for someone's approval, or society's validation, or our parents' validation, or our friends, to make ourselves feel good. So our happiness, or your feeling of feeling good, is not dependent on others, which means they have the key to your life. So you are giving your key to life to them. So obviously, if you give your, let's say, of your house to another person, we all know what happens. They obviously, so things get stolen. So that is how they stole your confidence. They stole your belief. They steal your trust in yourself. Limiting beliefs. What are limiting beliefs? So the list I can actually, about limiting beliefs, I can continue to talk about for 1 hour actually. But limiting belief is something which is holding you back to not take an action. It actually acts as a paralysis sort of a thing, where it paralyzes you to take an action, and where you continue to fall in back with your overthinking patterns, or your patterns which were not discovered earlier. And then they act as a barricade, you can say, or a stop sign, which limits you to going to the next step. So let's say right now you all can think about one limiting belief which you have right now, that maybe, what if I fail? What will happen today? So this is one basic example. I'm saying one of the basic example. Limiting beliefs can be so much, like, let's say, I have to do more. Why you have to do more? If I do more hard work, then only I will create, or then only I will get more success. Who told you that? No, it's not like that. The last is perfectionism. I think we all have been guilty of it, where we wanted to perfect everything. So yesterday, I was actually making this presentation, and I ended up spending a lot more hours than it was supposed to, because I was trying to perfect it. And it, even if I'm a coach, it happens. Perfectionism creeps in once in a while. And the reasons can be many. In fact, top leaders, top managers, people at a very good level, executive level, they tend to fall into the traps of perfectionism, where they don't feel enough about themselves, where they want to challenge that I have to do more. And I have to do more, I should do more, is completely different from I want to do something. And why? So the words we use, must or should, are actually how to are given by society, that okay, you should do it. But why should I do it? That should be the next question. It should come from that I want. I want feels like more like a desire, more like an intention, more like something you want to do. Should feels like an obligation. In grammar, also should actually means an obligation, a necessity. And a lot of things in our life are not necessity, and neither they are our obligations. So yes, and this is how our self-confidence gets affected. Now let's understand what is the power of insecurities and fears. Insecurity and fears hold a lot of power in our life, and they are the one which limit ourselves, which hold us back, which constantly creeps in from one way or another, and which define our inability to not do something. So let's understand what is insecurity. So insecurity is simple. Let's understand you are not feeling secure. The feeling of lack of safety, which means constantly having internal doubts, not feeling safe with your thoughts, and feeling of not being enough, or not a feeling of not being educate, or lack of any, or we can say feelings of inadequacy, that how it impacts us. So this is a constant reminder which social media actually gives us. If I right now, let's say, open my Instagram or my Facebook account or even a YouTube channel, people are sharing their successes, but how many of them are actually showing the behind picture? I agree that they got the success, but how? And more than that, success is something like a highlight, like a spot. All the light is on you. But what about the dark spaces, which you were actually going through alone? And I would really like to share that with your audience, because at times, audience and we as individuals feel that, okay, if we forget that, yes, it's okay to fail few times, it's okay to not know certain things at times, it's okay that we are not perfect, it's okay that we like certain things and we don't like certain things, it's okay that we have certain kind of value and we have different belief system. It's all okay. A lot of times we don't need a lot of things, and in fact, at the first place, we don't needed those things. But since we saw on social media and suddenly we are like that, okay, I think I need that. I think if I don't have it, my life will be not better, or it will affect my life directly, which is completely wrong. So it's important to understand that social media feeds and loves to feed on our insecurities. That is how they are selling their content. They are getting more views. There is difference between aspirational content and just a sell of content. They are making you aspiring that, okay, I want to do. But at the same time, it's important to understand that everybody is different. Every human being has their own abilities, are different from one another. And insecurities can stem from anything. It can be a result of lack of self-esteem. It can be a negative self-talk, which we give ourselves, or someone in our family constantly telling us, constantly. It can be our parents as well, constantly criticizing us. And then we stop believing in ourselves that, okay, maybe this person is right. Because let me tell you, if someone is telling you, you are not good, or you are a bad person one day, second day, third day, and they continue to tell you for a week, you will start believing it. And the moment you start believing it, you will create your reality on that one thought. And that is why I say our thoughts, the words we choose for ourselves, create a reality or create the same reality. It's simple. It's directly proportional. No psychology, no scientific. I'm just saying it. It's a fact. If you say something daily to yourself on daily basis, you will start feeling that. You will start believing that. And just because someone told you something 10 times, that doesn't make it true. It's an important thing to remember. So check your talk, what you do with yourself. Check your self-talk. On daily basis, what do you say to yourself? What kind of word do you use for yourself? So for example, a lot of times we say, no, I cannot do it. It can change to a better version. I cannot do it yet. The moment you put a yet to it, it becomes, okay, I haven't done it yet. And that is why it feels like an impossible task. So let me understand what is so impossible about it. And then you break it into small steps. Because obviously, if I really want to climb a mountain, it will feel overwhelming that, oh my God, how can I do it? And but that is why when someone wants to climb mountain, there are camps, different camps at different level. And at times people only reach to level 1 or camp 1 and then they come back. Then again, next time they reach to camp 2. Then again they come back. So it is like this. And if you will focus right now when I do this, it's our heart beating. Our heart beats like that. So if we are manufactured in a way where our heart also beating like that, which means there are highs, there are lows in our life. To achieve a high in your life, it's important to have a low, because that will be a straight line, which means you are not living. Then insecurity arises from questioning our self-image. That, okay, I don't like the way I talk. I don't like the way I look. I don't like this particular thing in my mind. Oh, this person has so much good knowledge. So I want to do that. Yes, you can. But don't criticize yourself continuously, where you start questioning yourself, where you start questioning your being, your presence in this world. And a lot of things happens are coming from a place where we were constantly compared when we were small. That, okay, this hey, Nishita, or maybe XYZ person, Nishita, this person, I really wanted to become a doctor. I did try for it, but I didn't become one. And the reason was I didn't want it at the first place, but I thought I wanted it. And when I dig deeper now, whenever I ask myself, I really never wanted to become a doctor. Yeah, I liked one particular subject or two subjects, but it's not about always about becoming a doctor. But then it was told to me that, okay, you want to become a doctor, so become one. Why? Because in our family, so in my family, a lot of people are engineers, teachers. I don't believe in my closer family there is a doctor. So it was again told, okay, so nobody is a doctor, you become one. So it's like creating a diversity in our houses. But what it created in me was it created that I was not confident enough, because whenever I used to give an exam, I was not performing really well. And it impacted my percentage in my 12th, in my 10th as well. And it created a fear for exam actually, where I was someone who was never afraid of exams. I was someone, even if I haven't studied ever, I will still give an exam with full confidence, with a belief in myself. Okay, at least I will pass, even if I didn't study. But that was a time where I was studying, but still I was leaving my paper blank because I was questioning myself. It was like when I used to see a paper, I was getting froze. I didn't know what was happening at that time. So yeah, this is what insecurity does. It's simple, where you don't feel safe. Now, let's understand how to overcome insecurity. So, first is developing inner security. So, when I always say security, insecurity, I'm not talking about the outside world. I'm talking about the inside world of yours. I'm talking about what experiences you had in your life which created or shaped you right now. Our experiences play and our environment plays a very important role in shaping the way we are. And there have been a lot of studies about it. And that is why it is told that create a positive environment for yourself. Make sure you are spending time with the right people, or make sure you are spending time with people who encourages you, who motivates you. And at times it challenges you as well. But someone who is constantly trying to bring you down, they are one of the major factor which is affecting your confidence. So maybe right now you all can ask yourself, what set of people in my life, or what is that, what is a list of five people, four or three to one, who are actually trying their best to bring me down? Why you want these people in your life? Why it is so important to have someone who doesn't wish you well, maybe on your face, but you know that they don't? Why you want someone who is constantly telling you that you cannot do it? Why do you want that? Because the dialogue which you're hearing from outside will slowly start to internalize in yourself. And then that is how you start saying it to yourself, and you start believing it that, okay, maybe that person is right. And that shows in our relationships, that shows in our friendship, that shows in our life, your career, every part of your life starts impacted by that. So creating a safety environment within yourself, consciously choosing what thought you want to choose today. Like I said in starting, right? What intention? What do you want to create today? That is a small exercise which you can do every day in morning. Okay, so today this is what I want to create, or this is what intention I want. So let's say my intention is today to create power. So then I will do all the things consciously. I will choose and pick things, or even if it is not like a chance to pick everything. Maybe it might be office work or something else where I don't always get a chance to pick it up. But I will ensure that everything which I'm doing, I'm creating that power, the sense of power in me. So this is called consciously living an intentional life. And when you start living it, then you start being it, then you start feeling it, your sense of inner security. Because just think about it. If you don't feel safe in your own body, with your own thoughts, how can you actually feel safe with other people? Not at all. And then creating a narrative which helps you to create a sense of security, which makes you feel safe. Maybe in starting, you might feel that these words doesn't make sense. But understand, if you start repeating it, if you start believing it, if you start choosing it consciously, after a week or after 10 days, you will start believing it. And a lot of times you start believing in it at the first day itself. You know why? Because you understand that whatever thought I was thinking earlier was not based on facts. It was just based on illusion. the illusion which is created by society or the illusion which is created by us. Next, enhancing self compassion, which means accepting yourself, believing in yourself, loving yourself. When I say loving yourself, that doesn't mean that a lot of times people say, I love myself, so I will do this. I love myself, I will do this. No, that is not love. That is actually fake love, which is again be sold by maybe movies, maybe social media, maybe parents. A parent said, if you love us, you do this, right? So then we start creating, okay, if I love my parents, then I will do this. It also means I'm loving myself because I am respecting them. But at that time, you are not loving yourself. You are disrespecting yourself. And if you continue to disrespect your thoughts, your dreams, or your wants, that creates a sense of insecurity. So, enhancing your self compassion over self criticism instead of criticizing yourself, because there are four people who are doing it all alone. I hope everybody has heard this line. There is the four people who will always say this. In Hindi, actually, we have a char log kuch kahenge, right? So, yes. So instead of doing that, you start believing and then you start seeing that, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I will create self-compassion for myself, which means accepting yourself when you fail, which means you accept yourself when you are not feeling good, because that is the time where your body, your mind needs more love. So I will tell you one thing. So I am someone who still has actually, but I have I had a very severe acne breakout. Today also I have one, but it's not severe. But I used to have it was so severe I could not even look at my face. It was very, very bad. And at that time, what I used to do is, whenever I used to get a lot of acne, I started not taking care of myself because I was thinking, I'm already not looking good. So what is the need to put efforts to look good or to feel good? I will not do this. Let's say I wanted something, but I used to say, you don't deserve this, Nishita. This is this. So I was constantly becoming my own enemy. So when I was not feeling right, when my body was not feeling right, I used to actually criticize it. I was someone who was becoming its enemy instead of giving it more love. It's like, let's suppose if you have a child, or in future, if you have a child, do you think if your child is not feeling better, you will actually start criticizing them? You will become their enemy? No, you will never do that to your child. You will encourage them. You will give them more love at that time, right? But what about your inner child, which feels unsafe, which a lot of times becomes which a lot of times becomes your opponent, and then you try to just push it more down. It's not right. So it's important to mindfully choose thoughts which help you to uplift you, and at the same time not getting lost in a pattern of overthinking where you blow out of situation. What do I mean by that is very simple. A lot of times when we are overthinking, let's say right now, let me start overthinking. Okay, I have this webinar. What if it doesn't go well? Oh my God, it will prove that I'm not good. What will other people will think about me? I cannot do better. I have to learn again. Okay, let me cancel it. Okay, this is something which what if people don't like me? What if I fail? Oh my God, if I fail, what I will do next? If I don't do next, what I don't know my future. So you see, this is a very basic narrative right now I'm saying, but it happens. It can be different, but this is how a small situation where it was just about a webinar, but we ended up creating a thought which is right now in our mind. Oh my God, what will happen in our future? Oh my God, my life is over, right? This is something which often comes. What will happen 10 years down the line? I'm asking what will happen today. That is in your hand. Because what will happen today will definitely help you, whatever the result is in your future. But it will be a factor to it. It's like whatever you put in is whatever you get out. So conquer your critical inner voice. So this is an activity which you can do right now or maybe later as well. That let's say in a paper, or you can speak in front of your mirror or sit with yourself, and right now also you can say, and you have to use a second person. So instead of writing or saying like I'm stupid, I'm not perfect, I'm ugly, I'm boring, I don't have this much, I'm a failure. Now say it to self, or maybe looking at the mirror, you are so stupid. You are not perfect. You are ugly. You are a failure. You are not enough. You cannot do it. Now it feels like a personal attack, that as if I am attacking each one of you. But just think that if you are doing it to yourself in front of a mirror, you will know that this is a chain of vicious attacks which we do on ourselves on daily basis. So how can you expect yourself to feel confident or at least feel good enough about yourself when you are someone who is your enemy right now, who is constantly exposing you? So yeah, these are the things which you can do. Now let's understand what is fear. So in this slide, I've discussed very common fears which on daily basis which we go through. So what is a fear? Let's understand. It is nothing but a trigger or a response to something which is perceived as a threat or danger. So let's suppose if a tiger comes, how would you feel? You will feel a threat to your life. You will feel a danger to your being, your body. You will start feeling that sense of afraid or being afraid, right? So this is what a fear is. And now let's understand how it creeps very slowly and very smoothly in our life in different forms. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of change, fear of judgment. I think I have been guilty of all of it. I will not deny. Maybe you are guilty of one or two, but I am someone who has been guilty of all of it. So what does fear does to us? Do to us? Is it paralyzes us from taking an action or taking any risk and keep us in our comfortable zone. And you know what happens when you are in your comfortable zone for a longer. So this is the insight which I recently had, where when I was reflecting with myself, with my mentor, that right now I'm in a very comfortable zone. Everything is going whatever I want or whatever I wanted till now. But now that I want to create something else, and I was not able to do it because I was too much comfortable. And then I understood that actually this comfort right now I'm feeling is very comfortable. But after a while, it will actually become uncomforting. Why? Because then you are living in a comfortable state where you don't feel safe, where you're constantly afraid about your future, and that your own comfortable zone will actually become an uncomfortable zone. So it's important to understand, to learn, or to do anything in your life. Maybe what you can do is divide 50-50. Let's say today, this is something which is uncomfortable to me. So with that, I will combine it with something which is comfortable to me. So now you're doing both the things together. So slowly, you are pushing your body, your mind, your nervous system to be comfortable with a new uncomfort or the new. And at the same time, you're feeling a sense of security that, okay, I'm this. And this is how you slowly go from your comfortable zone to uncomfortable. And after being in a comfortable zone for a few times, you will start understanding now this has become your comfortable zone. So this is how it transitions. What to do? So it's important or it's impossible, I believe. I think in this entire room, like right now, I think 57 people are in this room, Zoom call. And I believe similar people are right now watching us in YouTube, on YouTube. So one of the impossible thing is that you have never experienced failure. If right now also you will think harder, you will find at least one failure in your life. So it's important to understand that, okay, if I've already failed, let me become comfortable with it. So what is a beautiful thing about failure is it actually helps you to decide how to look at situation, and it is a choice on how you want to look at. You can look at as a threat. Okay, oh my God, I failed. My life is end. Or you can feel like an opportunity. Okay, this something didn't well. So let me understand why it didn't go well. Let me understand what happened. So let's say if this webinar doesn't go well, so instead of feeling and criticizing myself, my next question will be actually to me is, okay, why it was a fail? Was it because of my lack of skills or expertise? Was it that I by myself expected or set unrealistic expectations? What was it? So at this time, you have to be honest with us. Be very honest. And this is again a part of love, that how much love or how much love you do to yourself, how much you love you. That's simple. Being honest. The more honest you are, the more self-accepting you become, the more your self-esteem also start uplifting slowly. being honest. Then your next question can be, how can I avoid this happening from next time? What can I do? Then find your new why. Understanding your why, that why I want to do a thing. Let's say I want to get a car. Why you want to get a? I want to do this new degree. Why you want to do this degree? If it is coming from a space of curiosity or a genuine want, then do it. But if it is coming from a space of lack, where you feel that you have a lack of something, then it is time to work on your internal mind, internal body, internal safety. Because if you're constantly coming from a space of lack, it will never be fulfilled. And that is why a lot of people who have billions of dollars in their life, or who have done a lot of things, who have money, who have everything, still feel unhappy at times. And the reason is because they was just running, chasing things. They didn't understand why I want a thing, why I wanted this at the first place. And that is why they feel unhappy. Because the line which says more the merrier doesn't fit here. For me, it has been more is never enough. The more you get it, the more you want it. Then the more you run it. Simple. And the best thing on overcoming failure is now building a muscle which helps you that, okay, today it's important for me to create one failure. Or this week, I will ensure that I create one failure. I had a lot of failures in my life. A lot means actually a lot. And today also I have a lot. So it's very normal. But it's important to build that muscle of failure. Why? Because the more comfortable you become with failure, the more you expand yourself to take more risks, to take an action. Because the thought of failure actually grips you or grabs you from not going ahead. Because you're constantly thinking that, okay, I cannot go ahead because what if I fail? So right now, maybe you can make a list of things which you wanted to do, but you're not doing, or make a list of 5 things which you really want to do, but you're not doing it because of failure. Just do it. Let's say if failure was not an end result of that thing which you wanted to do, now pick one and do it anyways. And that is what we call courage. Courage is not something which is like there is no fear or something like that. Courage is something which you do or take an action despite the presence of fear. That even if fear is there, you want to do it. Remember, or right now, go back to your memory lane and try to think, when was the first time or when was the last time actually you chose courage? And then you will know that you already have courage. You have to just choose it. We all have a lot of things in our life. We have thoughts. We just have to choose a thought. If you don't, then you create one. But I believe right now also you can make a list of 10 positive thoughts. You can make a list of 10 things which you are afraid to do. Just pick one and do it. Anyways, the maximum it can happen, or the maximum is you fail. But what if you don't? And to know that you don't, you have to take an action, because else you will not be aware about. And that is again how overthinking comes in place. That you will start constantly thinking about it. What if I do this? What if I do that? And after some time, that overthinking that particular thought will become a regret. Oh, what if I have already done it? Right now, also, if I ask you to make a list of 10 regrets, you can make one, everybody. And you only didn't do it because you were afraid, too afraid to try even. So, yeah, make a list and pick one thing and do it anyways. And that is going from victim mode to creating mode, to creating a life of your dreams, of your wants. Rejection. So I believe everybody has been rejected. I've been rejected so many times. I remember after my graduation, when I applied for an interview, I was uh, actually rejected. And the reason was I was not confident. I actually ended up stuttering in that interview and getting it all wrong. I actually ended up saying myself, I remember, I think it was his or her different. So I actually mixed up genders. I don't know how I was able to do it. It might seem to you very funny, but I don't know. But yes. And after that, I stopped going to interview because I was like afraid people would reject me. So rejection is something which first you need to accept, because there will be always a chance someone rejecting you. Let's say out of these, right now 58 people are there, and some watching me on YouTube channel. So let's 60, 70 people right now, 70 people, let's say. And I say out of 70 people, 50 rejects me. That no, she's not a I think this is not a good session or something like that. Okay. But 20 did accept me. And more than that, did I accept myself? Because there will be people who will reject you. There will be circumstances which will reject you. But you need to understand it's not personal. Maybe you were not actually good at that particular skill. You can go back, again reflect on it, work upon it. Or maybe understanding that is it from a space of self confidence that I'm not actually feeling confident. So, yeah, understanding the rejection is no big deal. Everybody has been rejected. Ask any superstar, ask any person who has raised millions of dollars. It was not like that they cracked that deal in first meeting. No, they met so many investors. Then they were able to crack it. Someone launching an idea. It's not always that they are launching an startup on the basis of the first idea they came up with. No, maybe they had many, 10, 20, 100. So we need to understand that. Bill Gates also, his idea was not something which just came. He tried a lot of things. That is how he came it up with with its product. So it's important to understand. Rejection is part of it and get over with it. But now, when I say get over with it, let's say because it's very easy, for our families, for our parents, for me as well, or maybe someone. Hey, nothing, just get over it. But nobody understands the pain which still remains. Even if you right now distracted yourself from that particular feeling, that okay, I will not feel or I will not be not be putting more intention towards my emotions. It's not, it will go away. No, it's not going. I'm telling you, it will come back over and over again. And that is why a lot of times we feel, I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know what kind of emotion is this. Because in a habit of getting over with it or ignoring your emotion, you forget how to address your emotion, what kind of emotions you are feeling right now. So important to understand that first start acknowledging your feelings because they deserve it. You have no right. I'm telling you, you don't have any right to get or to tell your feelings to just go. You don't have any right. What if you are you are a person and you are sitting in a room, or maybe right now just pick one random person and say, "Hey, please get out of this place." How will it feel? Do I have a right to do it? No. So how come you have a right to do it with your feelings? Not at all. It's not your right to do it. Instead, acknowledge it because no one apart from you knows what you feel. Then, instead of saying that you don't care about them, accept them. To work or to overcome anything in your life, these are the basic and major steps which we should take. First, acknowledging it that yes, it's there. Then, accepting it that okay, it's here. Because if you try to not accept it, it will, as we all are sucker for acceptance that we know we need this person to feel nice about us. I want all of you like me, right? This is not my thought. I'm just telling you. Right now, it is not my thought. So, yeah. So, it's important to accept your feelings before trying to think that others will accept me or not. Everything's begin from this home, which is inside you, not outside. Second, remind yourself of your self-worth. Self-worth is basically not relating it with your success, with the number of things you have. Self-worth is knowing you value. That's it. You don't have to say I am not enough just because you didn't had a success in maybe right now, or maybe you failed in something. So now you start believing that because I fail in this thing, I deserve this, or I'm no good person, or I'm not enough. Self-worth is not that. Self-worth is accepting and valuing yourself even if things go opposite to you. So it's like when you have bad times in your life and there are few people who go out from your life and then you get to know that who were your true friends. This is the time to be your true friend. Not rejecting yourself when the times were not right with you. So yes. Third, figure out what really scares you about rejection. So right now, I want you to write in your notebook or maybe right now think what actually scares about rejection. What will happen if someone rejects you? Because the moment you know that, then you start understanding your what behind your rejection. Then you can start understanding your why. Okay, that what is this, then why it is, and then you can reach and you can identify your how. To identify how to overcome it, it's important to understand what. is there to overcome and why it is there in the first place. So yes, this is a small activity which you can do. Now, the third, we fear change. I believe we all have been someone we fear change. And why? Because it's all unknown to us. So whether it's your new job, whether it's your new college, whether it's your new location, whatever, we always fear it. And the reason is very simple, because you don't know what it is. You have not achieved it or you have not met it, right? So it's like let's say you are meeting someone for the first time in your life, and then before meeting them, you start making a sense of perception or the image in your mind. Maybe the okay, this name. So maybe this person might look this way, or this person might have this kind of voice, right? We do that. And then, okay, because this person has said this, so maybe this person is like this. We start interpreting things, right? And we have not even met that person yet, but still we have a proper image in our mind. And a lot of times that image just gets shattered because we're like, oh my God, this is a completely different person. And it can work both ways. It can be like you thought good person and ended up, and he or she ended up being bad, or vice versa. Similarly with the change, we start creating a illusion of reality in our mind that, okay, this is supposed to be this. And then when all things doesn't met what we thought, that is how we get afraid, because the sense of safety which you created in your mind, now the thing is very different. So this is a threat to you. You feel that this is a threat to you. Then it creates fear. And then we lose clarity of what exactly we wanted to do, why we change our job, why we change our location, why we are at a new place. Why? We forget that. So what to do next is, instead of focusing on a big step or a big goal, you can focus on your next step. So instead of, let's say you want to climb a mountain, or maybe you have to go to seventh floor, and you are scared that since you don't have a lot of stamina, you might end up like the breathing thing happens and all. Start from, okay, I will focus on my first floor. And at times you can only just focus on your next step. So in winters, a lot of times in winters, what happens on roads, we see fog, right? We see fog, and it's so much at times that we are not able to see the entire road. But at times, we still drive a car with confidence, right? Why we do that? Because our focus is not what is there after 2 kilometers, 1 kilometers. Our focus is only what is in front of us. What can I see? Can I see a car? Can I see the road is smooth? Can I see, is there a sort of obstacle over there, or there is a man standing? We just focus on the next thing. So that is what I want you to do. Instead of creating fog in your mind, which might be there because of change, focus on the next step. Next, a chapter is not the book. So understanding, just because you didn't do well in certain kind of change, it's not because it's not now that you will not do better at the next step, or at your next mission, or at your next line. Just because it is uncertain, or because our brain prefers predictable things and loves to have predictability in our life. So don't let it navigate your entire path. Embracing imperfect. It's important to embrace imperfections in your life, because it's okay to be imperfect. You cannot control others, and you are at the end of the day a human. So now this is our last slide, and this is the last fear, and let's quickly do it. When was the last time you were judged? The fear of judgment. We all are afraid of the judgment. Today in the session, how am I looking? Is my hair right? The way I'm speaking, is it right? The way I am using my language, my tone, my voice, is it right? What the other person will think? What Ashish will think about me? What Sayam will think about me? What Yashpal will think about me? So feeling of judged is something which always creeps in. And it is regardless of how confident you are. So it's important to understand. It's nothing at the times related with confidence. I told you, at the end of the day, we all are human beings. We judge ourselves. So stop being yourself. Stop being by yourself means stop being yourself what other expect you to be. So start being what you want. First step is stop judging yourself. That it's okay. People always find a reason to judge you. People will always find 10 things which are not good about you. Second, Stop chasing for people's approval. That you don't have to get a validation from others that if I'm doing it right, whether what it is, if I want to do it, whether you have it, its approval or not. It's important to being honest and being authentic to yourself. Then last, don't invite judgment. A lot of times we are the ones who invite judgments. We push other people to judge us. We push or put questions in a way where they start judging us. So now it's action time. This is the activity I want you all to do is, what are the 5 things which you would do if you had absolutely zero fear of judgment, which you really want to do or which you really wanted to do, that if judgment was not in question, you would really love to do it. So make a list of that and then again pick one and do it. Now, I hope, so this was the end of the slide. I hope you all had fun. I hope your answers were whatever questions you had, whatever thoughts you had, common thoughts you had in your mind, I was able to address them. So last is ask questions. And this is an important reminder for you. Confidence is not about being perfect. It's just knowing who you are, what you are being, what is your authentic version of you. So yes, I believe anybody who has question can start asking.
Yes, ma'am. We have found some questions in the chat box,
Okay,
and I am asking the questions right now, ma'am.
okay.
And these are some of the questions from audience. And the questions follow as: can you share any tips or strategies for building self-confidence in specific areas such as public speaking or networking?
Okay. So to answer this question, let's first understand. So a lot of people believe that public speaking is all about standing on a stage, speaking, being intelligent, knowing everything. It's not a lot of times. See, everything which you're talking about public speaking, or right now where I'm talking, I am also doing public speaking. I'm talking to 50 people right now. So this is the art of that, right? But what I am focusing is not how, what if you are feeling a certain way about me. I am focusing on what kind of value I'm serving. What is my intention of doing it? There are a lot of activities also which you can do. The things which we discussed today can obviously help. But there is something which I have started doing for public speaking, especially, is like I record myself or like I will put my camera in front of me, my phone, and then I will just randomly start talking about any topic. Let me say, I will pick a topic on anything which is going. Maybe it can be a trending topic. Maybe it can be my day-to-day life. It can be a topic about around anything which I discussed today. And I will start speaking it for 5 minutes. After that, I will pause the video. And then my first step is to listen it, not look at it. The more I listen, I'm able to identify, okay, these are the things I want to work on. These are things which are sounding great. These are my strengths. These are my weaknesses. Then I will mute my video and I will just look at my video. Is how just understanding what the way I look, how my hands are working, what is my body language, because then I become very conscious about it. That, okay, these are the areas. So it is like reflecting on your own, understanding that, okay, what works, what doesn't.
Yes, ma'am. And here is another question.
Hmm.
What are the helpful factors that every individual could do to avoid criticizing their own flaws?
Can you repeat the last line?
Yes, ma'am. What are the helpful factors that every individual could do to avoid criticizing their own flaws?
Okay, yes. So this is something which I already talked about actually. So I believe first understand why are you criticizing yourself and make a list of 5 thoughts which are which are at the top of your mind actually, right? Make a list of them. That, okay, these are the 5 thoughts which I'm constantly criticizing in me. And then ask yourself, why are these thoughts the way they are? Let's say I say myself, I'm a short-heighted person. So let's say I say, you're a very short-heighted person. Okay. Then I change it to, you are a short-heighted person, which means now I am becoming my second person. Then you ask, how do you know you are a short person? Okay, you compared with someone. So the comparison comes in. And why did you compare with that person? Is that person you? And why do you want to be of their height? Why do you want to be tall? And if you are, because the height is something which you cannot change, which means you have to come from a place of acceptance and making it to positive ways, right? So for me, I changed it to, since I'm a short-heighted person, I A lot of times people think I'm a short person, so which means my age is less, right? Some believes I'm 18-year-old, 15-year-old, a lot of times because I'm thin as well. So, and a lot of people say 20, 21. And for me, I take it as a good quality because right now they might feel that, okay, she looks younger than her age. It's not good. But I say, let's talk after 30 years when I'm actually 40 or 50 and I'm looking at like, if I say I'm at 50, but I look like I'm a 40 years old. So this is how you have to change and you practice your thoughts. You have to build a strategy around it. It's important. So let's say if you are constantly saying, I cannot do it or I can't do it, you put it at the end, I cannot do it yet. Let's say uh, this is very challenging to me. Instead of saying this is very challenging to me, you say this is something new, which means there is a sense of learning, which means if something is new, you don't know it at all, which means there is a chance you might fail. So becoming again comfortable with that thought that, okay, even if I fail, I know I'm trying something new. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. And here is the final question. How do we show self-confidence despite the situation of discrimination?
Okay, so yes. So first of all, I want all of you to understand, and each one of you, when I talk about confidence, majorly, being confidence a part of life, that doesn't mean that always you will feel confidence first thing. A lot of times you have to create a sense of confidence. Let's say when I started this session, I was nervous. I told you, right? Then I created a sense of confidence. I made sure that, okay, that this is something which I do, this is my work, and this is how I do it, which means not giving you power to decide it. So when we talk about discrimination, see, discrimination is something where you can raise your voice, right? And a lot of times you need to understand when you're feeling discriminated, it's also about low self-esteem. And that is why you are not able to take an action which you really wanted to take at the first place. Maybe you wanted to speak about it. Maybe you wanted to do something about it. So that is why I always say, right now, whatever your questions are about public speaking, about discrimination, you need to understand from where deeply it goes. And a lot of things are not dependent on yours. So things which are not dependent, let's say someone is discriminating you. So the next question should be, am I actually feeling, I am feeling bad, I know, but on what? Is it the thought or is the thing they said it to me? Or is it the thing where they said it to me in comparison with other person? Because that is more about discrimination, that you are discriminating someone else. Let's say in our Bollywood industry, right? We discriminate or oftentimes we choose fair girls over girls. Now it is obviously it's done, but earlier it was fair girls. For advertisements also, the girl should be fair, should be beautiful. And we are discriminating them against whom? Whom we think that they are ugly. But who is setting the standard of being ugly? Let me tell you who. In your book, when you were small, right? I don't know if it's still there. I remember in my book when I was, I think, 7 or 8 years old, it was a image beautiful versus ugly person. So ugly person was of brown color and beautiful person was of white color. So that is why we call, okay, this person is fair. So that means they have an advantage. So it's important to understand your culture, how it is, your social standards, who has defined it, and is it an illusion or something based on 4 or 5 people or majority of one? Even if 100 people are saying certain thing, that doesn't make it right. So it's important to channel your voice at that time and understand why at the first place you are feeling discriminated, what happened, and then asking what you can do next and how can you do it, and then working deeply on the root cause. Because confidence is not at a see, I feel confident. It's very easy to say, right? But you need to understand that it goes very deeply. We just discussed today few aspects of it. The slide which I showed you, I think that was the third slide, where I actually told how our past traumas, how our unstable childhood, how perfect, they all happen to contribute and influence our confidence. So instead of working on surface level, let's work on deeper level. Because surface level, when you work on, it is for, let's say you have a fever, you grab a pill. You will not have a fever. You will, okay, I'm fine now. But if you're continuously having it, it's important to understand what your body needs and why you are having a continuous fever. Like every month you have. Why are you feeling unhealthy every month? So yes, understanding your root, understanding your why. That why do you feel at the first place.
That was a good piece of advice, ma'am. And I believe all the questions were completed.
Mhm.
And that's all about the questions. What a wonderful knowledge given by you, ma'am. I hope our audience learned many new things from this session. Once again, I would like to thank you for joining us and sharing your experience and your knowledge with us. Thank you, ma'am. And Hemant signing off.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.